A very good morning, dear students. Today I am going to teach you a new lesson, that is measurement and effects of heat. Last year you have learned some things about heat, that is how heat is transferred from one place to another, and also applications of heat. So this year you are going to learn about how we can measure heat and what are the effects of heat. Fine. So before we begin the introduction part of this lesson, let us try to recall what we have learned last time. So let me ask you the first question. Which sources do we get heat from? Which are the sources which gives us heat? You know that sun is the ultimate source of energy. Heat is a form of energy, right? And sun is the ultimate source of energy, which gives us light as well as heat. So sun's energy is in the form of light as well as heat. So sun can give heat energy. Then you can see earth rotating here, correct? So even earth has some amount of heat trapped in its innermost part of the earth, that is the core of the earth, also has some amount of energy, and that energy is called as geothermal energy. Okay, so earth also has some amount of heat energy. Then where else we can get heat? Of course, by burning different substances we can get heat. Like for example, wood, coal, petrol, different fossil fuels, paper, right? Any substance which can burn can give us heat. Okay, not only this, we can get heat from electrical energy also. So that we are going to see. So this is, these are some of the sources from which you can get heat. Now let us proceed for the next part of the lesson which you have already studied. That is, heat is getting transferred from one place to another. Then it is also called as transfer of heat. How heat can be transferred? Do you know, students? Can you recall what you have studied last year? Yes, heat can be transferred in three different modes. Okay, so there are three different modes of heat transfer. That is, one is conduction of heat, second, convection of heat, and third is radiation of heat. Now for the first two, that is conduction and convection, medium is required for its transfer. Like in the first picture you can see that there is a solid medium, okay, and it conducts heat when it is getting heated. You can see the particles over here of the medium. Now solid or liquid or any gaseous substance. First of all, remember they are made up of particles, and these particles are nothing but the atoms. Fine. So these particles, when they are heated at one place, you'll find that the heat is getting transferred from one part of that object, solid object, to the other. So such a transfer of heat, wherein transfer of heat takes place from hot part of the object to a cold part of the object, is also called as conduction of heat, which you have learned last year. There was a small activity for you last year, that is, you need to take a metallic rod on which you need to place wax, candle wax, melt the wax and put the wax on the rod by placing them at 2 centimeter, right? And then fix for this rod, this wax, some nails, okay, and one part of the rod should be heated with the help of a burner. You find that after some time these pins or the nails which are fixed to the wax will start falling off. Okay, when near the burner it will be first, then later on it goes on falling off sequentially. So which shows that heat is getting transferred from one place to another. Okay, and this type of heat transfer is called as conduction. Next is, you have learnt about convection. Now convection mostly takes place in two mediums, that is liquid medium as well as gaseous medium. whereas conduction takes place in a solid medium. So in convection, what happens now? If you start boiling water, okay, you might be knowing that the hot water remains up, whereas the cold water is down. Why is it so? When any the water is heated, what happens is that when the water is heated, the density of the water becomes less, and therefore the hot water goes up and the cold water remains down till it will go on till the entire water gets same amount of temperature. Okay, now why this is happening? It's happening because of the current of water moving in this manner. Okay, so current of water is going on in this manner on the two sides like this. Okay, so those currents are also called as convection currents. So you can see in this picture how the current of heat is current of heat is passing here, and how the upper water is going, the colder water goes up. Okay, colder water goes up, hotter water goes up due to its less density, and cold water comes down. In this manner, no convection currents are creating transfer of heat. So this takes place in both the water, that is the liquid state, as well as in the gaseous medium. Fine, so this is the second transfer of heat which you have learned in the 7th standard. Then the third transfer of heat is nothing but radiation, which does not require any medium. Now sun is giving us the heat. We get the heat of the sun, correct? But the sun is crores of kilometers away from the earth, and that atmosphere is only up to few kilometers distance, right? So wherein air is present, air as a medium, fine. But after the atmosphere, there is an empty space. There is no medium at all. It is like a vacuum. Then how does that heat of the sun reaches the earth? Okay, it is nothing but something called as radiation. Okay, the heat passes through another through another transfer called as radiation of heat. So it is because of the sun's radiation that we are getting the heat, even though sun is very far from the earth. Fine, so this is one thing. Second thing, you might have experienced about radiation when you are taking a bonfire, especially during the cold season and all. When somebody puts a bonfire and people sit around it, you find yourself warm even if you are sitting very far away from the fire. Okay, so how does the heat gets transferred here? Here the heat gets transferred by means of radiation. So this is regarding the heat transfer, the modes of the heat transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. For conduction and convection, there is a requirement of the medium, whereas for the radiation, there is no requirement of the medium. Fine. So next is, which effects of heat do you know? Okay, which effects of the heat do you know? Okay, there are different effects of the heat, like boiling. Okay, boiling creates. So due to heat, we can boil certain objects, correct? Like, especially liquid objects, we can boil. Then melting of the ice, correct? It is also another effect of the heat, because if the heat is given to the object, okay, like that of the ice and all, okay, it will start melting because it will start changing its state. So here you can see that it is changing its state. Fine. Then due to the friction also, heat is generated. Fine. You can see the matchstick. When the matchstick is, hit on the matchbox, you find that the, matchstick burns. Okay. So this is also another effect of the heat. That is due to the friction, heat is generated, and due to heat, you can see that the matchstick gets lighted. Correct. Then you might have seen the parachute, gliding. correct? No, of the in the parachute and all. So how this is happening? It's because heat is creating a rare medium, that is the air becomes rare, and therefore the air inside the balloon, hot air balloon, not parachute, sorry, hot air balloon, what happens is that it decreases the pressure inside, it decreases, and therefore what happens is that it goes up. Okay, so it creates a lesser pressure there, and therefore it goes up like this. So these are all effects of the heat. Fine. Now some effects of the heat, you can see these are all effects of the heat. Okay, that is the change in the temperature, change in the state of the object. All these are the effects of the heat. Fine. Now let's proceed a little further now. Okay, now we have seen in the previous standard that heat is a form of energy which flows from an object which is at a high temperature to an object at a low temperature. Now what does this mean? Okay, now suppose if you take hot tea, okay, very hot tea, when it is a tea is prepared, at the same time if you want to drink, but then it is some people don't like very hot tea, okay, because it might burn the tongue. So if you want to drink at the same time, what can you do? A simple method is there. What you can do is that take a bowl of water, okay, and place your tea cup inside that bowl. Fine. Then you will find that after some time, within 1 or 2 minutes, you will find that the tea becomes warm, which you can have later on. Now why does this happen? It is happening because here you have taken a bowl of water which is cold, whereas a cup of tea which is hot. So what is happening here? The hot, the heat from the hot cup, flows to the heat in the bowl, okay, which is at the lower temperature. So which means that the heat flows from an object of hot object to a lower object with less amount of heat. Fine. So temperature of the object also tells us this. Okay, so you can see how how the heat gets transferred from higher temperature to an object with lower temperature till they become equal. Fine. So temperature of an object always tells us whether an object is hot or whether it is cold. So by touching it, we can find out what whether the object is hot or cold. Okay, and if you want to know exactly how much is the temperature, for that we need to use what? A thermometer. Fine. So the temperature of the cold object is always lower than the temperature of the hot object. Fine. Therefore, the temperature of an ice cream is less as compared to that of the temperature of the tea. Correct? So, from temperature we come to know that how hot or cold the object is. Fine. So, this is regarding the we can find out how hot or cold object is depending upon its temperature. Now, you have also seen that when we give heat to an object, it expands and contracts. So this also you have learned in an earlier class. So you can see a picture over here wherein the particle over here is expanding as well as contracting. Now why I have shown here is to show you that when an object is heated, it starts expanding like this, because what happens is that the molecules inside, or the atoms, sorry, not molecules, the atoms inside an object when heated get accelerated, and they vibrate to and fro. Because of its movement, the particles start expanding. Okay, so this is because the heat is a form of energy and it is getting transferred via all the particles, and therefore the solid starts, or any object starts expanding. Whereas opposite happens when the object is cooled down. On cooling the same object, it will start contracting. Fine. So this also you have learnt last year. Now suppose if you want to remove two dabbas, okay, which have got stuck inside the other. What can you do? Okay, so it is, you have to use this method of, just heating the steel, the object which is there outside. You'll find that that object will start, expanding, and the object which has got stuck inside, okay, especially the vessels, the utensils, what I'm talking about is of the utensils, not of the plastic. Okay, plastic will start melting if you heat it, but if you take, solid objects like the metallic utensils, if they have got stuck into each other, then outer vessel you will need to heat for some time. Then you will find that the outer object expands, and therefore it increases in volume, and whereas the inner object has not yet started heating, it will also start heating due to the transfer of the heat. But then before that you need to remove it, because once the outer object is getting heated, it will expand, and you can easily remove the utensils or the object which has got stuck in the center. Fine, so this is just to tell you that heat can expand the object, whereas on cooling the same object will start contracting. Okay, so this is regarding what you have learned last year. Not only this, due to the heat, state of the matter changes. Like for example, if you just decrease the temperature of the liquid, it will start freezing. If you, it will form into a solid like that of a water. If you just take away the heat from the water, it will form what? Ice. Correct? The similar way, if the liquid is increased in its temperature, if you increase the temperature of the liquid or start boiling, you'll find that the liquid changes into gas. This method is also called as vaporization or evaporation, if you know. Fine. Same gas can be converted back into liquid by just taking away the heat, by decreasing the temperature. This process is called as condensation. And of course, solid changing into liquid by giving of heat, that is called as melting. Okay, fine. So these way you can learn that and even solid changes, certain solids can change directly into gas. That process called as sublimation. So there is change in the state of the matter when heat is given. When the heat is given, solid changes to liquid and liquid changes to gas. Whereas if the heat is taken away, gaseous medium changes into liquid, and liquid again changes into solid. Okay, so this is also regarding the change, the state of the matter changes due to either giving heat or maybe taking away heat. Okay, when giving heat, solid to liquid, liquid to gas, and taking away heat, gas to liquid and liquid to solid, it happens. Fine, so this is regarding what heat can do. Fine. Now let's move on to the next part of the lesson, that is introduction part of this lesson. Fine. So the unit of heat in SI system you should know is joule. Fine. Now what does this mean? It means that every quantity is measured. Fine, and it has certain unit. Like for example, if you take consider length is measured in meters, mass is measured in kilograms, correct, capacity is measured in liters, and so on. So every quantity has some unit. Like that, even heat can be measured, or heat is also one quantity, and therefore heat also can be measured. Okay, so there are two systems of unit measurement. One is called as SI unit, and second, or SI system, and second is CGS system. So in SI system, that is a higher unit like joules, and lower unit, that is CGS unit, is calorie. Like for example, for length, higher unit is kilometers, lower unit is meters. Fine. So in SI, meters is SI and centimeter is CGS. So like that, even here also SI system, joules we have, CGS unit is calorie. Now, what is calorie? You might have heard about calories. It is said that if you have a lot of fat in your body, we say you need to burn your calories. So when you're burning your calories, that means lot of heat energy is lost from your body, and then you become, if you go on burning your calories, we say that our fat burns inside. Okay, it's nothing but heat is getting burned from inside. So that is calorie. Okay, so 1 calorie is almost equivalent to around 4.18 joules. Remember this. You will have to remember this number, that is 4.18 joules. 1 calorie heat is the heat required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water to 1 degree Celsius. Now, how can we define 1 calorie? It is saying that it is the heat. Okay, how much is 1 calorie heat? 1 calorie heat is nothing but heat required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. Now let me give you an example. Like for example, now suppose if you take 1 gram of water, 1 gram of water will be very, very less. Okay, and water also has its temperature, especially it depends on the room temperature. Now suppose the room temperature at that time, or of the water, the temperature of the water is around 28 degrees Celsius. Okay, its initial temperature is 28 degrees Celsius, and you have taken around 1 gram of water. Now you have to heat it. Okay, you need to heat that water or give heat to it. What will happen? You will find that the temperature of the water starts rising. Correct? Temperature of the water starts rising. And now, okay, if the temperature of that water, which is originally 28 degrees Celsius, has now changed to 29 degrees Celsius, okay, that means it has utilized 1 calorie of heat. Okay, it has absorbed 1 calorie of heat. That you have to remember. Okay, so this is what I want to tell. So 1 calorie of heat is nothing but heat required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. So remember this. Fine. So based on this information only, now we are going to solve certain examples which are very important as far as next part of your lesson is concerned. So basic learning of this example is very important. So let's try to solve certain numerical examples.